This is Jeremy, and welcome back to Berkshire Soundstage. I'm pleased to be joined here by the band Keane. Welcome, guys, to the U.S.
Thank you. Hi.
And they're playing tonight in Boston at the Phoenix Club. And your first trip to Boston, U.S. in general, more or less?
I've actually been to Boston for one day before on holiday. Just walked around, but we've never played here before. We've never been as a band.
Is it a different feel from back home, you know, sort of the crowds? Do you find differences, notable differences?
I think we found that, obviously we're playing to a lot of people for the first time out here, and I think we found that people have been very kind of giving, you know, really been up for just coming out, having a good time, which is not always something you find over in the UK especially, but I think we've really enjoyed that sort of aspect of things, because, you know, it means you can really perform and give your all, and it's been quite an emotional experience actually. We've had a great time. Yeah.
Now, I think it was Tim. We should introduce the band here. You want to do the honors yourself here?
Yeah. Shall I take the mic?
Sure, take the mic.
Hi, I'm Tim, and I play the piano in the band.
And I'm Richard, and I play the drums.
I'm Tom, and I sing.
And Tim, I just wanted to touch that made me think of, after Tom mentioned just about emotions, and I think was it you that mentioned that the band is, you considered it sort of an emotional band, which is makes you stand apart maybe from some of the pack, maybe some other bands, you know, the way every band is emotional, but, you know, I think in sort of laying it out there, you have sort of a unique quality, I think.
We're certainly very honest, I think, with what we don't kind of hold anything back at all. We like to just sort of, you know, throw open our hearts and, you know, say what we feel, and I think if you give everything in that way, then you kind of open the door for people to, you know, respond, I guess. Whereas if you're always holding something back, then you can't expect people to give you everything in return. So yeah, I don't know, we don't really keep anything back for ourselves, but I think that's the way we like it, because the songs are our way of communicating, I guess, expressing ourselves.
Yeah, it must be I mean, you're connecting, obviously. Congratulations, I hear your album has gone multi-platinum. Okay.
It's on its way, which is something that we're finding pretty hard to believe, because this time last year we didn't even have a record deal, and we were, you know, still struggling along, and you know, it's lovely to be in that position. It's great that, I mean, we didn't have a clue how many people our music would reach out to, but it seems to be reaching out to a lot in the UK, so we hope it'll be the same everywhere else as well.
So maybe you can take us back, Richard. Any of you guys have some history for the viewers here who, you know, are learning about you for the first time. How long has the band been around? How long have you know, kind of been in the current unit?
Well, maybe I should take the microphone, because this is a long process. Yep. The history of Keane in 10 short minutes. We went to school together. We grew up in the same town, and our families have sort of known each other for a long time. And I don't know, I suppose we just got into music like, you know, people seem to when they sort of hit their teens or whatever, and got into, I don't know, Tim and I remember listening to the Pet Shop Boys a lot at around the age of 10 or something like that, and I don't know, just sort of falling in love with that band, and suddenly realising what this huge music sort of world is, and you know, how it can sort of affect your life. And we just, you know, got into more and more music, and you know, we started making music, Tim and Tom writing songs, and, you know, just, I don't know, it was a fun thing. It was something we did in the holidays, you know, when it was raining and we weren't able to play soccer or cricket outside, and then, you know, gradually it just became more serious. And we used to have a guitarist, but he left the band about 3 years ago, and it took us a while to sort of, you know, find our feet again after that. And, you know, eventually we sort of, Tim just went back to playing the piano rather than the bass, which he was playing previously. And I don't know, after that I think we just sort of, you know, we suddenly felt really comfortable with what we were doing, and then I don't know, we released a couple of independent singles in the UK on a label called Fierce Panda, and then suddenly all hell broke loose, and we found ourselves playing to full rooms rather than empty ones, and you know, and with our stuff on the radio.
You'll
you
be
know,
playing Glastonbury after you.
Yeah.
Here in the States.
It's quite funny, because we're flying back on Virgin Airways, and someone from some girl happened to come to the in-store today who is from Virgin Airways, so we're trying to blag getting an upgrade for when we go back.
You made it now.
It's you never know who you're going to bump into at a slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tim, you started off as a bass player then. It was one of the things that I think really makes your band unique is the prominence of the piano. I mean, obviously with the guitar out of the mix, it's you're concentrated on it very much. How do you think that as you're also the main songwriter of the band?
Yeah.
Yep. How do you think that has affected the construction of the songs? Does having sort of this unique sort of musical combination affect the way you would write songs in a different way, or?
I think it does in a way. It sort of frees you up to, I don't know, basically to do whatever you want and not have to worry about, making room for guitar solos or simplifying the songs because they're going to be kind of plastered in a wall of distortion or a sort of wash of that kind of indie sort of guitar sound you get. I think really, that having the piano is great and it is a big part of our sound, but really the most important thing for us is making sure the song is always really prominent and the words are really prominent and the tune gets out there and and you always get the meaning of the song. And I think the fact that we've got the piano, which is a kind of it sounds very powerful and big, but it also sounds very clear. So Tom's voice always really gets out there, and people can always hear what's going on. I don't know. I mean, it's you'd think that would be something you could take for granted, but we've seen so many bands where you can't hear what's going on really. So yeah. I think that does free you up from a songwriting point of view.
I think again the emotional honesty of the music being laid so bare like that, it only can work to the advantage of it to get the songs out
absolutely
there.
Exactly.
Now Tom, we have to focus on your voice as well here, and there's three of you. I find I was drawn to the music. I have to admit, one of the reasons I was drawn to you was some of the comparisons that were made to the band, and I'm sure every band hates that sort of being tagged in with this or what. But the thing that really sort of struck me is that I always enjoyed the band Aha, actually, growing up. And you were, I don't think I've ever heard a singer who came as close to that, and I think that's a real compliment. So, I wonder if you have any thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where my voice came from really. It's just a kind of, I guess I've picked up lots of influences along the way. But the most important thing really, when you get, in the end, I think, is to try and discover something that's, an expression of you and is your own voice. And so I went through various phases. There was a sort of Freddie Mercury phase and a Tom York phase and a Jeff Buckley phase. And but I think over the last sort of year or so, I've really kind of my voice has really become something with its own identity, and it's great to have that. I guess it kind of makes us kind of distinguishes us from other bands as well, which is nice.
Now I want to just ask you also about sort of the uniqueness of your recording for your first single. Was that the one we're playing right now, or is this?
Yes, basically.
But the one that was released on Fierce Panda, I hear, was actually done in a very unique way in one of your mother's kitchens there. Is this right?
It was in my parents' house. They kindly sort of let us take over a room in their house. Where we've basically been rehearsing and playing for the last couple of years, and we managed to get a little kind of very basic recording setup going there as well. And we just recorded when we were offered this chance to put out a single on Fierce Panda Records, which is this tiny label in the UK. We did a song called Everybody's Changing, which we just was very new at the time, and we were just working on a demo of it, and that was basically what ended up being released.
And so take us through the steps here. You were on the small label, and then some people from, you're in Ireland in the UK, is that?
Yeah. I mean, basically we've always I don't know. It was great. We actually put out 2 singles with Fierce Panda. It was great to be able to do the second one with them, and I don't know. But we've wanted to be a band that can get our music out to people. We've never really sort of wanted to just be a little sort of unheard of indie band. We've wanted to try and at least give people the chance to hear our music, and so we I don't know, you can't really come to places like this and do things like this unless you've got somebody sort of a bit bigger than Fierce Panda, sadly. But you know, we definitely would be absolutely nowhere without that record company. So you know, and and that applies to so many bands from the UK. I mean, it's incredible that they've just released a record with like 10 years, and it's got, you know, the 10-year sort of story of that label, and it's got 20 just, you know, you will have pretty much heard of everyone.
I mean, was Radiohead, I believe, on that label, and some of the other?
Radiohead are, I think Coldplay are, Idlewild, Supergrass, the Blue Tones, is it Death Cab?
Death Cab.
Yeah,
Ash,
yeah, Placebo, you know, so many. It's actually incredible.
So it's probably nice to have had that time with the independent label where they you know, they really give you a lot of attention, develop you as a band, and kind of you're ready once you're, or maybe you're not ready.
Actually, we just, in a way, it was totally hands off, because we just, you know, we just handed them this record, like Tim said, that we recorded at home, basically, and, you know, and we gave them the artwork. We did it, you know, we just did everything, gave it to them, and they just put it out, and, you know, they handed it to a few DJs, and one of them picked up on it, and, you know, it was a really sort of simple process. It was like, I mean, it is a true independent label. It doesn't, you know, have any, you know, corporate, you know, connections or whatever. It's just they just make records. That's all they do, and it's, you know, it's just so simple.
So I assume you hope to carry a bit of this on into the major leagues now, as, you know, sort of the band's ethic. I mean, sort of.
Yeah, and we co-produced our record, so I guess we, you know, we didn't just get some you know, big shot famous name person to come in and, you know, make it sound like their record. You know, we just did it. We carried on doing it, and in fact, a lot of some of the stuff we recorded at home ended up on the album. In fact, quite a lot.
How about the song "Bend and Break"? I mean, that's a personal favorite of mine. I think that's, you guys are just, you know, going for it, especially you on the vocals.
That's a fantastic song to do live. I mean, sometimes you know, you won't be quite sure how a gig's going, and, you know, a few songs in you'll play Bend and Break, and it just kind of galvanises people, and it's a very exciting song to perform and to sing. I mean, you know, if it's a hot old gig, you know, by the end of Bend and Break, I'm pretty out of breath and kind of you know, struggling to speak or sing, but it's a fantastic physical song, you know, which is you know, a really important thing for a band.
You guys have that nice mix, and I think I keep thinking about kind of the themes and even the title of your album, Hopes and Fears. You know, there's this really hopefulness through it, and then there's also this melancholy side, which, you know, and I'm sure maybe the Pet Shop Boys, that was.
I think it's nice if people. I mean, it's nice when people focus on the kind of more hopeful elements of what we do, because I think people have a tendency sometimes just to listen to a band once and kind of say, oh, it's all kind of miserable, you know. But actually, I think our songs are often about hope and offering hope and some kind of, you know, communication and you know, maybe even consolation for people, and like we're all in the same boat, you know. And I think that's the best way.
True, people connect in the same way to music. I mean, have you been? What's your response to all this? I mean, are you surprised to see people? You know, they come and they're singing the songs, and, you know,
Well, it's kind of when people come up and sort of say, you know, that they love the songs, or, you know, that they've they connect with the songs, or tell you, you know, you cheered them up one day or something, you know, then that's kind of pretty much the biggest compliment you can get from people, and we've been finding that, you know, that people really have been connecting with the music, and I guess that's, you know, that's what we've, you know, the bands we've always loved have been bands where we've done that, so, you know, it's a great thing.
Yeah. So maybe just in wrapping up here, where do you see Keane going from here?
It's the gig tonight.
We're going to do some shopping here, I think.
We try and take things sort of one day at a time, really, and I don't think we're thinking like sort of too far into the future. And it's just great to be doing what we're doing, and we're very happy to be sort of on the road and playing to new people and reaching out to people. So we'll be content with that. The other thing that is very exciting is, although this probably is looking into the future a bit in a way, but it won't be long, I don't think, before we're going to get a chance to start rehearsing new songs and hopefully sort of getting ideas into our heads about making another record, which is also really exciting. You know, but, you know, for the time being, we're very happy.
Has that process begun already, Tim? Are you starting to get inspired?
Yeah, we've got a few things sort of, you know, in the pipeline, but we'll just have to see how it goes. I don't think we want to sort of. You often hear bands talking about, you know, they get very excited when they're first album comes out and then it's like, yeah, we've already written the next album. And I don't think you should think that way. I think you have to be patient, and you know, our first album was the result of whatever 25 odd years of our lives, you know, and you don't have that long to make your second album, but at least you can try and build up a whole load of songs and then choose the best ones, or really think about what you're doing. So we'll see how it goes. And
although there are a couple that I know will definitely be on it.
Anything that, will you be playing anything that we haven't heard on the album tonight?
Some B-sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a song we're playing called Snowed Under, which is a B-side that we kind of did very quickly for I think it was the B-side Somewhere Only We Know in the UK, and we did it in a real rush. Kind of learnt it the day before. Tim played it to us, and we kind of just went in the studio and knocked it out. And it's you know, I think it's one of those songs that it just has a kind of charm all of its own. It's quite rocky and exciting, and we always love playing that one live. And it's, you know, because it's not on the record, it's a bit of a surprise for people.
You have like a surprise guitarist waiting in the wings is going to jump out at the last minute.
Kind of Spinal Tap. Yeah.
not that we know of. It might be a surprise even for us.
I don't know, Chad, you used to be in a band. Pull out the guitar.
A little air guitar. Show us what you got there.
We know you play the guitar. Yeah, we'll shut this down.
Well, Keane, guys, thanks very much for joining me here today. It's been a real treat to talk with you, and good luck with the show and the future, Glastonbury, onward, and look forward to hearing you again in the future.
Thanks,
Okay,
Thank you
thanks
very
again.
much.